Welcome back to Echoes of Reality channel, where the most unbelievable stories are the true ones. Today's story is about betrayal, forgiveness, and the strength to rebuild everything from nothing. Let's begin with Sara. In 2020, Sara was 36, a successful financial advisor from Denver, Colorado. She had everything: a good career, a loving husband named Mark, and two beautiful kids, ages 7 and 4. She was the kind of person who sent handwritten thank you notes, organized school fundraisers, and baked cookies for the neighbors. People called her the sunshine of the block, but sunshine can't stop a storm. One evening in May, Mark came home from work late again. He had been distant for months. Sara, feeling the weight of uncertainty, finally asked, "Are you seeing someone else?" He didn't deny it. He didn't cry. He simply said, "Yes." Sara's world shattered. She had spent 12 years building a life with this man. She had trusted him, and now he was walking away, not just from her, but from their children. To worse, she found out he had secretly emptied their joint savings account. Tens of thousands of dollars gone. He had been planning this for months. She was left with a mortgage, 2 kids, and $164 in her checking account. Sara could have collapsed, but she didn't. That night, after putting her kids to bed, she poured herself a glass of water, sat down, and made a plan. "I will not let this destroy me," she whispered to herself, and that promise would shape the next 3 years of her life. Sara worked double shifts. She took freelance bookkeeping gigs after hours. She sold everything non-essential in the house. She even rented out their basement to a traveling nurse just to cover the bills. And slowly, painfully, she began to climb out. But this isn't just a story of financial survival. It's about something much deeper. One evening, a year after the divorce, her 7-year-old daughter said something that broke her heart. "Mommy, was it my fault Daddy left?" That sentence crushed her more than the betrayal ever had. It was then Sara realized she wasn't just healing herself, she was modeling resilience for her kids. So she did something bold. She started journaling every night, writing letters to her future self. She wrote about her pain, her fear, her exhaustion, and then one day, she turned those journals into a blog. She called it The Rebuilt Life. The blog exploded. Thousands of women, many in similar situations, began reading her words, sharing their own stories, and writing messages like, "I thought I was alone until I read your blog. You gave me the strength to leave a toxic marriage. Your words saved me." Soon, a publisher reached out. Sara signed a book deal. The Rebuilt Life became a best-selling memoir. She was invited to speak at conferences, women's shelters, even TEDx, but the story doesn't end there. 2 years after her divorce, Sara got an unexpected message. It was from Mark. He had lost his job. The woman he left Sara for had left him. He was alone, broke, and he said, filled with regret, he asked to meet, not to get back together, but to apologize. Sara agreed. They met at a small coffee shop. He looked nothing like the man she once knew. He looked broken. He said, "I hurt you. I stole from you. I failed you and the kids, and I'll never stop regretting it. I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed to tell you this face to face." Sara was quiet. Then she said, "I don't hate you anymore, Mark. I did, but not now. Because if you hadn't left, I wouldn't have found her." She pointed to herself, "The version of me I am now." That moment didn't erase the past, but it gave Sara something rare: closure. Today, Sara runs a foundation that helps single mothers restart their lives. She's raised over $2 million for emergency housing, legal aid, and financial literacy training. She still lives in the same house. Her kids are thriving, and every night she still writes in her journal, this time with gratitude, because Sara didn't just survive betrayal, she turned it into a mission. And that's why we're telling her story, because sometimes your lowest point becomes your launch point. Sometimes the people who break you give you the gift of rebuilding yourself stronger than ever. And sometimes your pain becomes someone else's hope. Thank you for watching Echoes of Reality. If this story moved you, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And in the comments below, tell us, have you ever turned pain into purpose? Until next time, stay brave, stay kind, and never underestimate your power to begin again.